Hi, Mrs. Hill here. This is your narration for Activity 3 shared reading for Wednesday, May 6th, 2020. And today you have the option of completing your work on a piece of paper and taking a photo of it and submitting it to your assignment or typing into the Google slide. So you do have that option today. So if you want to work with me on a piece of paper, lined paper preferably, but whatever you have will work. So you can go ahead and pause the video and take a moment to go ahead and get your paper and something to write with. So let's look at what we're going to do today. So today we're going to answer questions about key details in a text. So the details are what supports the main idea or the main topic and what the text is mostly about. And these slides are provided by the School District of Philadelphia, and I have customized them to meet our needs for our class. So let's look here at slide 2. So we're going to watch a few videos first. The first video here is about community helpers. So this is going to go over some jobs or some occupations that different people in the neighborhood or in the community might have. So let's take a minute to watch this.
Hi, teacher. Hi, mailman. Hi, doctor. Hi, nurse. Hi, truck driver. Hi, cashier. It's nice to see you again in my neighborhood. So many people take care of me in my neighborhood. It's like we're a family. Hi, policeman. Hi, dentist. Hi, waiter. Hi, zookeeper. Hi, plumber. Hi, coach. It's nice to see you again in my neighborhood. So many people take care of me in my neighborhood. It's like we're a family. And when I grow up, all the things I could be, so many jobs could make me happy. All of us together like a family makes a great community. Hi, fireman. Hi, soldier. Hi, farmer. Hi, bus driver. Hi, lifeguard. Hi, builder. It's nice to see you again. It's nice to see you again. It's nice to see you again.
Think about some of the community helpers that you heard about in that video. And we're going to watch another video about retelling key details from a text. And then we'll go back to our book on the town and we'll practice the skill. So here's our next video. How do we retell key details?
How to retell a story. Retell means to tell the most important parts of a story from beginning to end. We often retell stories to show that we understood it. Sometimes we retell a story just for fun because we want to tell our friends about it. When you retell a story, you can't retell everything. You only retell the most important parts. So, what is important? Usually, the most important parts are the characters, the setting, and the big events that happen in the story. Have you heard the story Goldilocks and the Three Bears? I'm going to retell it to you. Goldilocks and the Three Bears is a story about a girl named Goldilocks who goes for a walk in the forest. In the beginning, the bears left their house to go for a walk while their porridge cooled. Next, Goldilocks came to their house, and she ate their porridge, sat in their chairs, and then fell asleep in one of their beds. In the end, the bears came home and scared Goldilocks. She jumped out of bed and ran away. My retelling included the characters, the setting, and the most important events from the beginning, middle, and end. Now you can practice retelling a story on your own. Thanks for watching. Check out other reading videos on the Teaching Without Frills YouTube channel.
So we've watched a video on community helpers, people whose jobs or occupations, different things they do in the community, and we watched a video on how to retell key details. We're going to use both of those videos, the information that we learned, to retell our story about Charlie in On the Town. So if you go to slide 3, you know, just as yesterday, there's 2 different ways to view the text. So yesterday we did the Vimeo where the voiceover read it to us. Today I clicked on the PDF version, and this just shows the text without anyone reading to you. So remember that when we were in class and, you know, we would do drop everything and read, or DEAR, right? In the beginning of the year, you guys were saying, but I can't read. I can't read the words on the page. Well, remember that there's 3 different ways to read a text. And if you think back to our anchor chart that we made when we were in class, one way is read the words. If you can read the words, read the words. But another way is to read the pictures. I could scroll through here right now and I could read the pictures. Looking at this picture, I see the teacher is telling them about the assignment. Now, since you listened to the read aloud of the text yesterday, you know what the assignment is, right? The kids have to go around their neighborhood and create a journal about the different places that they visit that are in their community or in their neighborhood. But I could go through and read every picture. Here I see Charlie's mom picking him up. He's telling her about his homework assignment. And then as I look at the pictures, I can see the places where Charlie's visiting. Here he goes to the park. He sees the garbage collector. Here he goes to, it looks like someone lost their wallet, right? And then they have to go return it at the police station. So even though you can't read the words on the page, you can read the pictures. That is still reading. So read the words, read the pictures, and the final way is to retell the story. Now we can retell the story because we've already read it together, right? We read it together yesterday. So we can retell it. And when you retell the story, you tell about the most important points in the story, okay? So I'm going to go back here to the beginning, On the Town. So if you're doing this along with me on paper, this is where you're going to want to get out your sheet of paper. I'm going to start by writing the title at the top of my sheet of paper. So if you look at your screen, you can see the title is On the Town. So I'm going to start by doing that. So I'm going to do that on my chart paper. You go ahead and copy this down at the very top of your paper, On the Town. So there's mine, On the Town. So there's our title. Okay. Now, if we're retelling the story, because remember that's our third way to read a text is by retelling, and that's what we have to do today, right? We have to retell the key details in the text. But before we do that, we need to talk about, well, what is this book mostly about? What's the main topic or the main idea? Well, the book is mostly about Charlie, and what is it that Charlie's supposed to do? So if I scroll down here, I can use the pictures to retell. Oh, I see this picture here of his teacher talking to the students, and that reminds me what his teacher told them they have to do. So think a minute. What did his teacher tell them that they had to do? So she told them that they have to visit the people and the places in their neighborhood, and they had to keep a journal to do it, right? So that's your main idea there, is Charlie's assignment pretty much. He goes around and he visits the people and the places in his neighborhood. So that's going to be the first thing that I write here. That's my main idea. That's what this book is mostly about. I'm going to underline my title here. Okay. So, Charlie visits the people and places in his neighborhood, comma, and he keeps a journal, period. Okay? And then reread to make sure it makes sense. Charlie visits the people and places in his neighborhood, and he keeps a journal. Okay? Very similar to the first video that we watched this morning. It showed different occupations, so different jobs that people might have in the neighborhood. And some of them were the same that Charlie saw. But when you're writing your key details for today, I don't want you to think about the video you saw, all right? I want you to think about the text or the book that we're looking at right now. So the video was just to kind of give you some more background information about different occupations or jobs that people can have in your neighborhood or in your community. But when you're writing today, make sure it's based off of the text or the book that we're reading, which is on the town. Okay? So now we have to get into retelling the key details. Okay? So the key details. So I'm just going to scroll through looking at the pictures, kind of doing a little picture walk to help retell some of the places that Charlie went, because those are my details, right? The places he visited. So here's where he's telling his mom about his assignment that he has to do. Okay. And this is where he where he starts, and he says, his teacher, right? His teacher is a person in the community, and where does she work? At the school. Okay. So the next part, I'm going to have you choose how you want to do this. So when we were in school, if you think back to when we would draw something called a book map, okay? And I'm going to do an example up here for you. So the book map was, we would write a main idea sentence together, okay? And then we would draw about what was happening in the text. And that helped, our drawings would help guide us through retelling the story. So on this page, and I'm going to read to you what it says, Charlie wrote teacher. Then he wrote school and drew pictures of some of his other teachers. So if I was making a book map here, I would first draw a picture of Charlie's school, right? So I'm going to draw Ludlow just because that will remind me that, oh, this is a school building. This is where we go to school. So my first picture here. And then I'm going to write Ludlow up here. Okay. So this is his school. And who works there is the teacher. Let's put a dash. Teacher. Okay. So this tells me this is one of the key details from the story, because this is one of the places that Charlie visited. Okay. Oh, and then look, he's at the park. And who does he see at the park? He sees the garbage collector. All right. So next I could draw a picture of a park, right? So I like to draw a little sliding board here. I always think of the park when I see the sliding board. So there's my sliding board. And then I might write park. So that's the place. So if you notice, the setting of this story changes throughout the whole story, right? Because he goes all over his neighborhood. So his neighborhood, right here, his neighborhood is actually his setting, right? All the different places that he goes in his neighborhood, that's his setting, or in his community. So he goes to the park, and that's where he sees the garbage collector. Okay. Let's see where else. So I'm just scrolling through the pages, and I'm seeing all the different places that he goes. Now here, and I'm retelling the story. Here I see he's picked up a wallet that someone lost. And where does he take the wallet? He takes it to the police station. All right. So next I could draw police station, and you could write police officer, or specifically the police officer's name in this story is Joe. And here's his name right here. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. So this is where Mom says, she look at him, she's scratching his head like, you need a haircut. right? Barbershop. Oh, there's another place. Okay. So Charlie wrote barbershop. And if you need help writing these words and you can't quite find them up here in the text, a cool thing that this illustrator does is you see Charlie's journal down here at the bottom. So George, right, here's the name of the guy who's cutting his hair, right? And he drew a picture of his scissors and he wrote barbershop. All right, so that can help you too as you retell the story. So you're retelling using the pictures, right? You've already heard it read to you yesterday, so you know the gist of the story, you know what's happening. And you're retelling using the pictures, and you're creating your own book map here. Now, why are we doing this? Well, we see our main idea, right? We see our key details. We know he visits the school. We know he visits the park and meets the garbage collector. I could draw a pair of scissors on here, show me that he went to the barber shop to get his hair cut by George, right? This is going to help me see what the key details are. So then I can write a sentence, which is your task today, about one of the key details in the text, okay? So I'm going to stop with the modeling of this part today, but you can feel free when you go into your Google Slides on your own if you want to scroll through more of the text and draw some more pictures for your book map, okay? And I would suggest drawing at least one more picture. So let me give you a box here, okay? I would suggest drawing and labeling one more picture because when I do an example for you of what you're supposed to do for your assignment today, I'm going to do it based off of one of these pictures and you're not allowed to use my exact same sentence, right? You have to come up with a sentence of your own. All right, so let's see here. Slide 4 is the slide that has your assignment in it. So it says type one sentence retelling key details in the text about the places Charlie went. Now this is where you're going to use the book map that we started to create. So I would use my book map here to help with that. Okay. Now remember, you can't copy my sentence. I'm just modeling for you what you could do. So I'm not going to write in blue this time. I'm going to write in red. Okay. So I have to retell, let me say this exactly, retelling key details in the text about the places Charlie went. I can't just tell about one place. It doesn't say about a place Charlie went. It said the places Charlie went. Now, you do not have to tell me every single place in the book. You do not have to do that. So once you draw your book map, I would choose 2 or 3 places that you want to tell me about. I'm going to do 2 because these are the 2 that I drew here, right? So I'm going to start my sentence, Charlie visited the, and then I can finish, right? Because I'm supposed to tell about the places he visited. So I'm going to start my sentence, Charlie visited the. So Charlie visited, I'm going to say his school, and the park, period. Charlie visited his school and the park. So I named 2 of the places Charlie visited, 2 key details from the story. And my key details have to go back to my main idea, right? So he visited his school and the park. My main idea is that he visits places in the neighborhood. Are these 2 places in his neighborhood, the school and the park? Yes, they are. So my detail goes back to my main idea, right? I'm not going to say, let me see, Charlie visits the pet shop, right? Because he doesn't visit a pet shop. That's not a detail from the text. It has to be places that Charlie actually went in the story. So you can finish your book map with your sentence about the place, at least 2 places, because it can't just be one. It doesn't say the place he visited. It said the places, plural, more than one. So telling about places that he visited, you can take a picture of this and upload it to your assignment, and that is all you would have to do. Or if you want to, you can go to slide 4 and you can type your sentence right here. See the picture of the keyboard? That means that you're going to type. So you could click in the box and type. All right. And if you need extra help, you know, usually there are slides here. You can go back and rewatch about the parts of a story the parts of the story help you to retell the text, right? You need the characters, the setting, and all of the events that happen in the beginning, middle, and end of the story. And I'm trying to always put at the end of your slideshow where your answers are needed, so that if you go through like today and you do the video with me through YouTube, all you have to do is go to the end and see, okay, where does Mrs. Hill need me to put my answers in? So slide 4, type a sentence retelling key details about the places Charlie went. And here's your numbers along the side that tell you what slide. Click on slide 4, type your sentence, or finish your sentence on paper and upload a picture for me. Either is fine. As always, please feel free to reach out with any questions or comments that you might have, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.